Hi everybody, I'm going to be checking out this little Ryobi Multi-Head Screwdriver kit, given my personal opinion. I bought this with my own money, no kind of freebies here. So it runs on the 4-volt lithium battery, the round battery. It does come with the battery in the kit and a little wire for charging. This battery can be charged by any USB port, or you can buy the Ryobi charger. Trying to get better with Ryobi versus Ryobi. I'm also trying overhead, so if this works out better, if you guys like this, let me know in the comments, or is it just a waste of time? So, pretty cool little tool. It's got some ups and downs. This is just a little dust boot that comes on it for when you're doing a straight drill or straight work. This is a little offset, multi-position, so you can't turn it on here. You have to take it off, find the position you want it in, lock it on. So this doesn't really turn this part here. This is just the spoke that it locks into. So the hex drive inside there snaps right in. And then there's the 90-degree tool. This is what I've been using the most. I did just have to use this offset for a couple times. Works pretty well. Works very well for the offset for what it is. So my biggest thing to point out is this runs on the lithium 4-volt system. So this is not super powerful. It's good for some little assembly of things. I'll give a quick little demonstration of some of the stuff I've been doing and some of the frustrations I've had. And it's mostly just with the power of the tool itself. It does come with some little tools, little storage pieces in here that you can put your own stuff in. What I have found is that I'm using a lot of different pieces. So I have a little system, like the Ryobi box with all the other different multi-heads that I'm carrying around with me, because the assortment here is good, but it's just not what I've been needing. So more onboard storage would be nice. There is a whole underside here where you probably could get more storage, more bits in there. I haven't really checked on the depth of this. Let's find out. Yeah, so that's a little nut driver in there, and it was rolling around. So there's some spots underneath for additional storage of pieces if you did need that. So for the sake of demonstration, this is a fully charged battery that I just put in here. I'm going to go ahead and move this little kit off to the side. So I've got a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. And one of the things I have been doing is just driving this is a 7/16 truss head screw that I have dropped 1,000 times. So first small issue is I've got big hands. When I wrap my hand around here to operate the rather large trigger, which is nice, it's not a forward, backward, top and bottom. It's, this push button just like a drill would have. But when I wrap my hand around here, very often my finger pushes that down, even if I want to be in the removing position. So you have to be cautious not to hit that with your finger. A lot of times I just move it into the no movement position, the neutral position. But I find sometimes when I'm trying to remove a screw that my finger or my hand has hit that and it's not going anywhere. So that's annoying, but I think that might just be because this handle's a little small and my hands are kind of big. So 7/16 truss head screw, 1/2-inch plywood. Took a little time to get started, but it drives it no problem. Removing. No real problem there. 2x4 block. No real problem with this truss head screw. Works great. If I'm going to drive something a little bit deeper or a little bit longer, I'm going to use a Torx bit with a, I think it's 1 1/4 inch screw. And that's where it runs out. So it didn't quite bottom that head. It won't sink the head. It, bottoms out on the piece of wood. I'm happy with that for this little tool. Removal is always easier with these things. Now if I pre-drill, one of the things I've noticed is you can't just leave the drill running and pull out because it comes apart. So you have to put it in the back out position and then it comes out pretty easy. And you can see it dimpled pretty good where that screw went in. The screw head, it sank in there pretty well. So this is the pre-drilled hole, same screw. Got down deeper, but still didn't bury it. And when this tool stops, so you can see the difference between those two holes. One's just a little deeper than the other. When the tool stops driving, that's because it's just out of power. It's not, the battery doesn't die, it's not dead or anything like that, but it's just out of power. Like it doesn't have enough oomph to push it in. So the other thing I've been doing today is using lock screws or lock nuts on these little screws that I'm using. And I have found it very challenging to, once they're in there, it drives them in good. It doesn't really get them locked. I still have to go back with an Allen key and give it another half turn or so to get it locked in all the way. So I still end up with a little tiny bit of play, quarter turn, half turn, and then it's really locked in. But then it doesn't really have the power to unlock it. So you have to use the wrench to twist the back and get that unlocked before you can drive it in all the way, or drive it out. So I'm going to do my best to hold this wrench. So here we go. So drove it all the way down to the bottom of that nut, simply because there's nothing between them. And then I've dropped 1,000 things today. When I'm trying to unscrew it, I did pretty good on that one. So, like I said, it's been some of the pieces I've tightened up by hand where I've had to over tighten them to get to where I wanted. That has caused me some problems. But overall, it's a good little installation tool. It's a good little thing. I bought my wife one for some of the little jobs she does around the house, putting in screws on some, different stuff that she's fixing. Does not replace a drill by any means. It's not meant to, so I wouldn't expect that. But that's that's what it is for the small compact size. Biggest issue I have is still just my fingers locking, pushing it into the neutral position. I think it does a really good job. I have had it the 90-degree head. It's hard with this little handle to give that upward push. So I find that I have to take most of my hand and put the head on there and kind of show what I'm talking about. So I have to put most of my hand underneath of this to push up on the screw I'm trying to drive into a vertical position and squeeze this handle. So it's just a little challenging. Overall, I wouldn't say it's been an issue. I've still used it 100 times. I think I've used this for the last 4 or 5 days installing these little truss head screws, putting my countertops onto my shop equipment, and it's worked really well for that. The 90 degree has been very useful. It's great for not having to bust out a big giant drill all the time. And if you keep the kit together, you do end up with everything you need in one little space. So it's been pretty nice to have. I like the pre-drilling, so I like to have some extra drill bits. It would have been nice if there were a spot, like I said, you can go underneath, but it'd be nice if there was a spot to include a couple extra long bits or something like that. That's my opinion. I own it. I've bought 2 of them. Like I said, this one's mine. I bought my wife one so that she doesn't have to come take stuff out of my shop. And overall, I'm happy with it. I will, keep it and use it. I would like to try the Milwaukee installation tool version to see how much power that has. I would not say those 2 tools are comparable on any measure. This is not meant to be a competitive tool with Milwaukee by any means, I wouldn't think. So it does have these little holes, so when you put this piece on, you sort of, it doesn't auto align. You got to line those little holes up for it to lock in place, and it's a little bit of a job getting it off. So but once you work it in and out a couple times, I think it'll loosen up and be pretty nice. Well, I hope you liked the video. Sorry it was so long. I thought it was important to kind of just show off what this little thing's capable of. I hope you like it if you decide to pick one up. And here's the part number. If you're looking for it on Home Depot, that's where I bought mine. I got 2 of them online. They were not in my store, so I had to purchase it online. All right, good luck.